I'm cool.
Oh,
Can you
your
hear me now, guys?
microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Whoever said that, thank you very much. I love you, little Dutchie.
No problem at all.
No problem. No problem. Thank you, baby. All right, so here's how we're going to start, you guys. You guys ready? Sophie, turn that off.
Sophie,
Turn that off,
even
Sophie.
je
I can see
camera
your face.
uitdoen? Dit is de derde
Come
keer
on,
dat hij het
Sophie, turn it
vraagt.
off. That's good job. All right, here's how we're going to start. Here's how we're going to start, you guys. I want to ask you guys a question. Some of you guys want to be agents. Some of you want to be managers. Some of you want to be models. My question to the models. And I want you to chat right now with Rio. What is the reason why you want to be a model? What is the reason why you want to be a model? Is it fun? Is it exciting? You get to travel, you get to make money. What is the reason you want to model? What is pushing you to model? Tell me.
Iris wants to become a role model.
Okay.
How do you chat?
Iris wants to become a role model.
How do you chat?
Cherie wants to stand in front of the camera. Keep going.
Leanne wants to travel.
Leanne wants to travel.
I want to travel to be an example.
Marianne, it's your dream. Okay, next.
It gives me adrenaline and
Gives
it
you
makes me
adrenaline.
feel
Okay,
beautiful.
cool. I dig it. Keep going.
Wants to promote things because she knows she can.
I think fashion
Okay.
is art.
Who's this? Turn off your. Come over here, Deborah. Who's this person? Who's this person? I want that video off.
Do you see it, Rio? I can't see.
Okay, that's okay. Okay.
Sturi wants beautiful clothes.
Sturi wants beautiful clothes. Okay. Fleur. Fleur's done a couple of shoots, but why do you want to be a model, Fleur? You like the feeling of it. You like the feeling of it. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Chantal, it's her daughter's dream. Okay.
Marlene is to make people happy.
Marlene is to make people happy. Okay.
Joy wants to travel.
Okay, cool.
It
Can you
makes
guys
you
hear me
feel
still?
like you can do everything.
Say that again.
It makes you feel like you can do everything you want.
It makes you
It
feel
makes
like
you
you can
feel
do everything you want.
beautiful and
So I got some interesting things. Some people want to travel. Some people think that they can, makes them feel they can do anything. Some people like to stand in front of the camera and have their picture taken. Some people think it's exciting, that it's going to be fun. So let me ask you guys a question. So the modeling industry, to be a model, could be very, very exciting and could be very, very fun, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Could be very
Yeah, it
exciting,
could be, but
very
no.
fun. Could be a very cool career to have. Kind of a cool business, right, guys?
yes, but it can be very hard.
Okay,
Yes,
very
I love
hard.
it.
Okay. You've just waited an hour to see a photographer. You've just waited an hour to see a photographer. You finally get to meet the photographer after waiting 1 hour to see this photographer. You finally get to see him, and he goes like this. He looks at your pictures, and he goes, next.
Well,
Now,
then
you've just waited an hour to see a photographer. You finally get to see him. He looks at your pictures, and he goes, next. 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times. 5 times a day, you walk in to meet a photographer, he looks at the pictures, and he goes, okay, you've just waited an hour to meet a photographer. And he goes, next. 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times a year. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Pretty fun, right? Pretty exciting business, right?
No.
You've just been rejected about your physical looks 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times a year. Pretty freaking great, right? Hey, Mom, the daughter of Chantel, you want your daughter to have her physical features judged 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times a year. Sounds like an exciting business, right, guys? Would you actually let your daughter have her physical features judged 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times a year? Now, let me ask you a question. If you judge somebody about their acting ability, if you judge somebody about their political beliefs, if you judge somebody about I don't know, the way they study in school or the way they dance. Who gives a shit? You can change those things. You can change and become a better dancer. You can become a better actor. You can become a better musician. You can become better at school. You can become better at anything. How do you make yourself 5'10"? How do you become a better model? How do you change the way you look? You see, when you're being judged about your physical trip, which we all know isn't so damn important, it's a tough thing to deal with. I'm much older than most of you girls and you guys, and I'm a little mini celebrity. And if somebody judged the way I look 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times a year, it would drive me freaking crazy. So let me ask you a question. How much fun is it to model now? Knowing that you're going to get rejected about your physical trip 5 times a day. Pretty fun business, right? No, it sucks. Let me tell you something. The modeling industry is very, very, very hard on young people. Very, very, very hard on young people. Why? Because you're going to be judged about your physical looks by people who may not even like you. They might not even respect you. They may not even care about you. Now, is it fun to be in front of the camera? Sure. Is it fun to travel? Sure. Is it fun to become a role model? Sure. Absolutely. But what do you have to go through to become that? And then the question becomes, how much is it worth to be judged about your physical trip 1,200 times a year? How much is it worth? So here's my concept. My concept is very simple for you guys. Unless you can kill it, unless you can make a tremendous, tremendous amount of money, don't model. Unless your daughter can make a tremendous amount of money as a career as a model, is it worth getting rejected 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times a year? Is it worth it? Simple question. Now answer that question. I'll wait for your answers.
It's worth it.
How are we supposed to know if we
No,
can
of course not. It's not worth it, but it's all about your mentality, right? Isn't it?
It's all
Because
about your
if you have,
mentality. You're absolutely right. Now here, one of you girls or one of your parents said, yes, it's worth it because if you have a strong personality, you can deal with it. No disrespect, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Let me tell you something, you guys. Everybody asks me all the time, what's the hardest part about the modeling industry? Exactly what I'm telling you right now is the hardest part of the modeling industry. Being rejected about your physical looks every single day is very, very, very difficult. So now let's ask the question, why should somebody model? What's the real reason why somebody should model? If you can kill it, if you can become a great model and you can make a tremendous, tremendous amount of money, and you can use the modeling industry to talk about very important things, to use it as a platform, to speak about very, very important things, well, then maybe it makes sense for you to become a model. If you
that's
can
why
make
I
a lot
want to
of
become
money
a model.
and actually buy your mother a house or figure out what career that you want later on down the road, or be able to give back more to your community, or to become a role model so other young people look up to you, well, then maybe you have a responsibility to become a great model. But my concept is very simple. If you can't become a great model, don't do it. Stay in school. If you can't become a great model, become an editor, become a casting person, become a hair person, become a makeup person. Because unless you can kill it and you can make a lot of money, well, then why is it worth it to go through all the bullshit of having your head messed with about your physical trip 5 times a day, 25 times a week, 100 times a month, 1,200 times a year? Am I making any sense to you guys? Are you feeling me yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on. Let's talk about, how do you get started as a model? How do you get started as a model? Because I'm sure many of you guys want to know the answer to this question. Does it cost money to get started as a model? What kind of pictures do you need to get started as a model? Here's the way it works. You guys think that I know You think that I know that if you show me your pictures, I can tell you if you can be a model or not? You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. That's my ego. I'm not God. I don't know. You know, I don't know. You know if you can become a great model or not. I don't know. But this is the way it works. This is the way how you get started. This is how you get started to become a model. First of all, what you want to do is you want to find out from the people who actually create stars, what do they think about you? Am I on? Okay, cool.
How do you get their attention?
1 second, you guys. Am I live on yours? Because I'm frozen here. Okay, cool. So then the question becomes, how do you get started as a model? How do you get started? What's the proper way to get started? How much does it cost to get started? Well, step one, before you get started in any business, gain the knowledge. Let me say that again. Before you get started in any business, especially the modeling world, you want to gain as much knowledge as you possibly can so you don't waste your freaking time, so you don't waste your money. Let me tell you how it works. Now, if you really want to find out if you can become a great model or not, here's how it works. If you go to models.com, models.com, you're going to find out on this website who the top 30 to 50 models are in the world. Top 30 to 50 models in the world. Your job is to do your homework and do your research, and then you're supposed to take digital pictures with no makeup, no foundation, no base, no blush. People want to see exactly what you look like. And you're supposed to take these pictures of yourself, these digital pictures. You go on to models.com, find out who the top 25, 30 modeling agencies that represent the top 25 and 30 models in the world. Who represents Laura Stone? Who represents Julie Humans? Who represents Marjan Jonkman? Who represents these girls? And then what you want to do is you want to send your pictures to those people. And if you're great, those agencies will respond back to you. And if you're not great, and if you're not what they're looking for, they will not respond back to you. Don't model. Don't even think about modeling. What you want to do, your job, is to figure out, what do the top modeling agencies in the world think about me? I don't care what my boyfriend thinks. I don't care what my girlfriend thinks. I don't care what my mother thinks. They're not the people that are going to represent you and book you for jobs. Your job, if you want to find out right away if you can be a model or not, you go to models.com, you do your homework, you research, you find out who are the top 25, 30 models in the world today, who are their agents in Paris, London, Milan, New York. Then you take your digital pictures and you send your digital pictures to the top agencies in the world. And then you know what you do? Then you pray. You freaking pray. You pray that you're right. And if none of the agencies are into you, guess what you do? You don't do it. You don't model. What you want to figure out is, what are the most powerful and the most important modeling agencies in the world think about me? That's what you want to figure out. You don't want to care what Paul Fisher thinks about you or some little modeling agency in Holland thinks about you. All you want to think about is one thing. What are the biggest modeling agencies that actually create stars think about me? Because here's the trip. Everybody in our business has an opinion. Your boyfriend has an opinion. Your girlfriend has an opinion. Your mother has an opinion. Their opinion is irrelevant. Unless they're booking jobs for Vogue, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, Valentino Versace, what people think about you, who gives a shit? All you care about is, what are the most powerful modeling agencies in the world think about you? That's all you care about, okay? Now, how are stars created? Now, what I'm doing right now, guys, I'm going to go through about 5 or 6 subjects in the next 10 minutes to get you excited, to get you thinking about the modeling industry, to get you thinking about your career, so you start to ask yourself questions about your career. And how I started this conversation is this. Knowledge is power. And until you have the knowledge of understanding how the modeling industry works, then you're just wasting your time. For you parents out there, do not, I repeat, do not let your kids get involved in the modeling industry unless you know how the modeling industry works. Now, let me tell you how stars are created. You know, there's a magazine, it's called Vogue. There's another magazine, it's called Bazaar. There's 12 covers of Vogue every year. There's 12 covers of Bazaar every year. Out of those 12 covers, there's only one model and there's 11 celebrities. Each magazine, Vogue, Bazaar, each magazine has 4 editorial fashion spreads every single month. So if you take 4 spreads times 6 pages, that's 24 pages. Take 24 pages times 12, and I think the number is 244 pages. Out of those 244 pages that are inside Vogue, there's only 18 girls that control those 244 pages. So, supply and demand. The goal of the model is to get on the cover of Vogue. The goal of the model is to get on the cover of Bazaar. Because supply and demand, there's only one girl on the cover each year of Vogue, one girl on the cover of Bazaar each year, 18 girls inside of Vogue each year, 18 girls inside of Bazaar each year. So the goal is to get into Vogue. The goal is to get into Bazaar. The goal is to get inside of Elle magazine. If you cannot get into Vogue, if you cannot get into Bazaar, if you cannot get into Elle, you cannot become a top model. The modeling industry is based upon supply and demand. Small supply of girls on the fashion pages of the magazines, which creates a huge demand for those girls. How you get on those pages of the magazines, oh, well, that's another whole story. The way you get on those pages of the magazines is there's 4 or 5 different ways to get on the pages of those magazines. Way number 1, fashion shows. Fashion shows take place in Paris, Milan, and London. The top agencies represent the girls for the fashion shows. If you get to work for Valentino, Versace, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, Yves Saint Laurent, Prada, Gucci, if you work for those shows, everybody thinks, oh, when I do a fashion show, that's the most important thing. It's not the most important thing.
Oh, we can't hear you anymore.
You.
Paul, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Mr. Paul.
Paul, we can't
Your
hear
mic's
you.
off.
Your mic is off.
Yeah,
Who
wait.
knows?
Pretty black girl with the white headphones, take us off the video. Whoever you are, pretty black girl with the white earphones, take us off video right now. Or I'll boot you out, even though you're very pretty. Very, very pretty, by the way. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we're back on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can hear me, right, guys? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. What is the reason? What is the reason why we do fashion shows? Why is it important to do fashion shows? What is the reason?
To promote
Because we love it.
People.
I'm asking a question. What's the answer, guys?
To show people. Because we love it, I think. So.
Because why?
Show their clothes
Because we love
to the
it.
world.
To promote.
You do fashion shows because we love it?
No.
We do fashion shows because we love it? Okay, stop. You're bothering me. Stop. Here's how it works. Oh, no, not because of the clothes. Who gives a shit about the clothes? Here's how it works. You ready? When you do a fashion show, every editor of every major magazine is sitting there in the front row watching you. Now you have a stamp, the good housekeeping stamp of approval, stamped to your freaking forehead by a very famous designer. So now an editor of a magazine, 150 editors of 150 magazines from all over the world now get to look at you up on the runway with beautiful hair, beautiful makeup, and beautiful clothes. And then when they see you up on the runway working for Prada, then they call me and they go, oh my God, Paul, who's the girl doing Prada? Who's the girl doing Gucci? So now, why is it important to do fashion shows? Because you can see 150 editors within 3 minutes. go to 5 castings a day, 25 castings a month, 1,200 castings a year. You've just seen 150 editors within 3 minutes. Now, let me ask you a question again. Why is it important to do fashion shows? Now, what's your answer?
To promote yourself.
To promote yourself.
To be seen.
Yes. In the greatest light. When Julie Humans is walking down the runway, when Marjan is walking down the runway, they've got the best clothes on, by the best hair, the best makeup, in the best lighting, and now all the top photographers and all the editors, Anna Wintour, and all the biggest magazine editors in the world, they're looking at you up on that runway, and then you get to start to work for the magazines. And then once you work for the magazines, supply and demand. Small supply of girls in the magazines creates a huge demand for those girls. Make sense so far? Let me move on to the next subject, because I'm about to give, by the way, guys, a 4-week interactive course for only 30 students, some models, some agents, some managers, and each class we go into depth of each one of these subjects. I cover each and every one of these subjects, and at the end of the course, I Skype with each and every one of you. Who's this girl with the cool hair that's the video on the girl? Tell her to get off. Who is that? Get off, whoever that girl is. She's gone. Good. Thank you, guys. So now, when we do this 4-week course, we're going to cover every single thing that you could ever want to imagine. What's a mother agency? Why do girls go to Paris? Why do girls go to Milan? Why do girls go to London? What girls are right for Asia? What other kind of modeling can I do if I'm not 5'10"? What's social media modeling? We're going to get into that in a second. Now, here's my next question. Whoever that is, get off. Who's the video of the 2 nice kids right there? Who's that? Chantel?
Chantel.
Turn off the video.
Turn off
I'll
your
boot you out
camera.
right now, Chantel. Mom, I love you, but you're going to have to take the video off. That's it. Okay, so guys, here's my next question. Why do girls go and model in Paris, London, and Milan? Tell me your answers.
They're one of the
Because there are
most,
big agents.
best. Yeah.
There's big agents there. What else? Wrong.
Very
What
much
else?
known.
Fashion
Um,
city.
Fashion City.
Paul, your microphone is off.
Hear you.
Paul, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Carl.
We can't hear you.
Paul, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Girls, it's can't.
He knows it.
We still can't hear you. Yeah, wait.
Off your camera. Doe je camera af.
Jules, doe je camera uit.
Doe je camera uit.
Camera uit.
We still can't hear you, Paul. We still can't.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Most of the people can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes? Okay, cool.
Hi.
So what's the answers? Why do girls go to Paris and Milan?
You can grow there and promote yourself more.
Fashion Week.
There are a lot of scouts in the
cities.
big cities.
Promote yourself.
No, here's the answer. Here's the answers. Here's the answers. You ready? Here's how it works. Going to Europe to model Paris, London, Milan is like going to college. It's like going to college. When you go to college, you don't make any money, but you build up your resume. Going to Paris, London, Milan is building up your resume. Do you guys know when you work for Vogue, let's say Madonna, let's say Rihanna, do you guys know how much a girl gets paid to do the cover of Vogue? How much? Tell me.
1 million?
1 million?
Oh my.
No. I think 500.
500.
I think
Okay,
that-
good one.
I think
Okay,
they
let me
don't get
explain to you
paid.
how it works. When you work for the magazines, whether you're Madonna or Rihanna, you get paid 250 euro. 250 euro. Now, why would a celebrity do a job for 250 euro? Because of exposure. So when a girl goes to Europe, she's going to Europe to work for the magazines, which builds up her resume so she could go back to the working world, which is New York City, to make money. So we call going to college going to model in Europe. Because when you work for the magazines, you don't make any money. You'll make a couple of $100, but you're working for the magazines, and then you tear those magazines tear sheets out of the magazines, you put them in your portfolio, and that's the building of your resume. So you go to Paris, you go to Milan, you go to London, you go to Spain to do one thing, to build your portfolio, to work for magazines where you don't get paid any money, any real money. So then you're building your resume so you can go back and work in New York City once again. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you all feeling it now? Are we learning a little bit about the modeling industry?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
next,
Yeah.
next,
We love you,
next,
man.
next. I love you. I freaking love you. Okay, now, next. Watch this. You know, I specialize in high fashion modeling. My clients are Valentino, Versace, Calvin Klein, Prada, Gucci. But that's just one kind of modeling. It's a very small niche. Now, if you're 5'6" or 5'5" or 5'7", or you have a very beautiful body or just a great face, well, maybe you can't do my kind of modeling because you don't fit the clothes. Because if you're not 5'9", if you're not 176, 177, 178, if your hips are not an 89 or a 90, you're not going to fit the clothes that they make for the fashion shows, which means you won't qualify for the fashion shows, which means it's going to be really hard to get you inside the magazines. People say all the time, why is there a height requirement? Because to work in the fashion shows, you got to fit the clothes, which is a sample size clothes. So if you don't fit the clothes, you ain't going to do the magazines. Then they take the clothes off of the runway, and that's the clothes that they shoot for the magazines. So if you don't fit those clothes, how do we get you inside the magazines? If you don't fit those clothes, how do we get you on the runway? If you don't fit those clothes, how do I make you into a freaking star? Now, does that mean if you're not 176, 177, 178, you can't become a star? No, that does not mean that. It means it's just going to be harder for you. Kate Moss, Cara Delevingne, there are kids that are under 5'9", under 178, under 179 that become stars. It just makes it that much harder. Now, is there other kind of modeling that you can do if you're under 178? Absolutely. Now, can you do TV commercials in Los Angeles? Absolutely. Can you do acting in Los Angeles? Absolutely. Can you do swimsuit modeling when you're 5'6" or 174, 173? Absolutely. Can you do trade shows? Absolutely. Can you do commercial modeling when you're not 5'9", 5'10"? Absolutely. What I do is I specialize in a very high-end type of modeling, very high-end. So I'm looking for a very specific kind of girl that can work with Valentino and Versace and Calvin Klein, but they have to fit the clothes. If they don't fit the clothes, it's hard for me to create them into a star.
I want me there 65.
Hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's say you're 165. Let's say you're 165. What do you do if you're 165? Who's that? Who's this video?
You try your
Who's
hardest.
that for? Romy?
Romy, doe je camera uit.
Who's Romy?
Romy, doe je camera uit.
Romy?
Shannon.
Shannon, you're very beautiful. Turn the video off. Shannon, you're very beautiful. Turn the video off. Right now, or I'll disconnect you. Don't test me.
Romy,
Don't test me. Turn it off, Shannon, right now.
she doesn't hear you. She doesn't hear you. She doesn't hear you.
We can't hear you,
Romy,
Paul.
doe je camera
Okay,
even
1 second,
uit.
1 second, baby.
Paul, she can't hear you. That's why she's not putting her
Okay,
camera on,
thanks,
she
guys.
can't hear you.
No, I can hear you, but how must I put my video off?
Down,
Turn it up,
below,
Shannon.
onderaan.
Down
Ja,
below.
onderaan staat het.
On the camera button. Turn it up.
Je ziet het.
Tell her in Dutch, you guys. Tell her in Dutch.
I already told her.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Now,
Go on.
Paul?
now I want to talk about social media modeling. Social media modeling. Guys, if you're 165 1.65. It's going to be hard to model for fashion shows. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard. And like I explained before, if you don't do fashion shows, it's hard to get you in the magazines.
Wat is de minimumleeftijd van
Here's
modellen?
my question to you. Here's my question to you. Why is social media important for a model? Why is social media important for a model? Answer the questions. Come on. Hit me with
So
right.
they can
popular.
be famous. They can be
You're
famous.
close. You're close.
So they can see you online.
So they can see
Promote
who you
more
are.
designers,
You're close.
material,
That's a
and
good
book
one.
her for shows.
Self, social
Okay,
media.
that's a good one.
For more
They
fans.
can
A little bit about agencies.
She can get
So they
more
can know a little bit
Everyone in
about
the
you.
whole
Okay,
world
here's the
can see
answers.
you.
Here's the answers, you guys. I want you to follow me. Follow my lead. Follow what I'm saying. You guys have all seen my TV show, right? Pretty cool TV show, right? Okay, here's how it works. I have no say what they put up on the camera. I could just be, I'll just be me, and they put whatever they want on the camera. And in the press, they can say anything they want about me in the press. They could say bad shit about me. They could talk shit about Paul Fisher. They could say anything they want about Paul Fisher. There's nothing I could do about it. But in my social media, in my Facebook, in my Instagram, in my Twitter, I can control the narrative. I can decide what I want the fucking world to think about me. I can decide to let the world know that I care about young people, that I want to tell the people the truth all the time, that I want to teach young people to give back to the world. So I can control the narrative. So when people write about me in the press, I can't control that. But I can control what I want people to think about me through the use of social media. My job with Julie Humans, my job with Marjan, my job with all my stars as they're becoming stars is to build up their online fan base, to build up their online fan base. Why? Because when you're done modeling, my job is to make sure that you leave me with two things. One, a few $1 million. Number two, a few million online followers. You're going to spend the few $1 million that I make you. You're going to spend that, but you're going to transfer your few million followers to your new business. So let's say you're done with the modeling industry, and then you want to open up a hair salon or a clothing line or whatever the fuck you want to open up. Well, now you have a couple of million social media followers to move to your new business. So social media is about three things. One, controlling your online brand, controlling the narrative, how people think about you by controlling the brand. Number two, by building up your social media following so big that when you leave the modeling industry, you can move it to a new business. Who's this girl here?
Zet je camera uit.
Hold
Zet
on
je
a second.
camera uit, Shannon.
Who's that girl?
Shannon, doe je camera uit. Doe je
Who's
camera
that?
uit.
Camera uitzetten.
En lopen mij weer helemaal vast.
That's her name.
Shannon.
Shannon, turn off your video right now. Whoever you are, turn it off. Don't piss me off. So check it out. So social media, by the way, you can be 165 and I can teach you how to get 1 million followers. And if you get 1 million followers, by the way, Vogue's going to want you. Calvin Klein's going to want you. It doesn't matter how tall you are if you build your online social media following. If you can learn how to become an online social media model by building millions and millions of followers online, well, then the Maybellines and the Revlons and all those people are going to want you, Now, before I start taking questions, I'm going to leave you with one more thing, and it's my favorite thing to talk about. My favorite freaking thing. Spirituality and modeling. Now, I have done a study. Of people who pull it off, who become famous in modeling, acting, whoever that person is. Get them off my video. Who is that person?
She's gone.
She's done that
Okay,
many times.
Good job, whoever turned off. So here's how it works. If you look at people that have become successful and stayed successful as actors or musicians or models for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, not people who become famous for a fucking year, Not people who become famous for 2 years. People who have stayed famous for 20 and 30 years. Robert Redford, Paul Newman, Madonna, Angelina Jolie, Sean Penn, Brad Pitt. Why are those people staying famous for 20 years and 30 years? It's not because they're better looking. It's not because they're better actors. It's because of one reason. They give back to the world more. Only one reason. The more you give back to the world, the more you can stay in the entertainment industry. Now, every time Julie Humans does a Vogue booking, she has to go feed the homeless. She has to give back to the world. Every time Marjane Jonkman does Yves Saint Laurent or Prada or Gucci, she has to give back to the world. Because the more she gives back to the world, the more blessings can come to her. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like this. Take a cup, and pour water in the cup. Take a bunch of water and pour water in the cup. What happens is the cup overflows. But if you poke a hole in the bottom of the cup, you can keep pouring the water in. That means more blessings keep coming. Unless you figure out how to give back more to the world, your career will become cut short. Here's the concept. At the beginning of this conversation, I asked you guys, why do you want to model? It's pretty, it's nice clothes, it's exciting, it's attractive. No, it's all bullshit. The reason why you want to model is everything. The reason why you want to become a great model is everything. It's all about consciousness. I want to become a great model so I can give back more to the world. I want to see my face on the cover of a magazine so other young people look at me and see I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I want to become a famous model so I become a role model so other young people look up to me. If your consciousness wants it for the right reasons, the universe is going to open up that freaking door. Why you want something is everything. It's everything. Don't want this for selfish reasons. Don't want this for ego reasons. Want this so you can share more with your mother and father. Want this so you can give more to your friends. Want this so other young kids look up to you. Are we on the same page? Are we on the same page?
Yes.
I won't manage somebody. I won't even represent somebody unless they want to do this for the right reasons. You guys are now going to be able to ask me all kinds of questions. When you're done with the questions, I'm going to answer questions for about 15 minutes. When I'm done, we're going to take a 5-minute break. And then I'm going to go over maybe 5 girls, 10 girls, pictures of some of the guys. I'm going to tell you guys what I think of these people. We're going to send you guys an email or a post. We're going to tell you your names of who we're going to actually look at your pictures and discuss your pictures. So if you're online, get ready to get reviewed by me in front of everybody.
I can't wait.
And I'm going to tell you the honest truth of what I think about you. Now, and we want you to write. Don't say your questions, so we're respectful to the other students, but we want you to write your questions. I'm going to pull out 10 or 15 questions, and I'm going to answer your questions. Now, last thing I want to say before we get into the Q&A. Starting January, I'm going to be giving a 4-week interactive online course. If you're a parent and your kid wants to become a model and you don't take this course, you're a silly person. If you're a model and you want to become a model and you don't learn everything there is to learn about the modeling industry from this 4-week interactive course, you're a silly person. If you had the chance, if you were a musical artist and you actually had your chance to put your music in front of Simon Cowell and you didn't take that chance, you're a silly person. You see, anybody who does the interactive course will get to Skype one-on-one with me. And then I will offer you advice about your career. But I won't do that until you have the knowledge of the modeling industry. I won't do that until you learn what's a social media model. What's a mother agent? Why? How does Paris work? Why do girls go to Germany just to make money? What's Asia all about? How does a girl that's under 5'9" get a modeling contract in Tokyo? How do you model in Tokyo or Brazil or Paris? How do you start acting in Los Angeles? How do you start doing commercials in Los Angeles? Why do girls go to Paris, London, Milan? What if you're a scout? What kind of girls do you look for? What are you supposed to study? How does the modeling industry truly work? If you don't take my course, we'll never get to meet. So now what you're going to do is you're going to ask questions over the chat. I will pull off 10 or 15 questions and I'll answer your questions. Then we're going to take a 5-minute break and we're going to review 10 of the models' pictures, and I'll tell you guys exactly what I think. Now here's my last question. You guys learning something?
Yes. So
Is it
many.
fun? It's a pretty cool Sunday,
A lot.
right? You may
I
not
learned
get
a
to
lot.
see, but you get to interact with me. We're going to do the Q&A now. We're going to start back up in 2 minutes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, waar kan ik die foto's naartoe sturen dan?
Je moet ze mailen.
Ja, het was gisteravond, moest je dat mailen uiterlijk.
Die had je al voor gisteravond moeten mailen. Het is nu te laat. Dat heb je gisteren per mail gekregen als het goed is.
Ja, dan moest je gewoon 1 foto moet je sturen en daar ging jij uitkiezen.
Ja, klopt.
En wat is zijn mailadres?
Nee, dat is in de link gestuurd.
Je kunt hier niet je foto's sturen. Het gaat gewoon.
Ik heb helemaal geen link daarvoor gehad.
Jawel.
Als je... Ja, op je mail moet dat gewoon komen. Gisteren al.
Ja, ik heb dat niet gehad.
Jawel, iedereen heeft dat.
Vet
Ben ik de
raar.
enige die wordt van al die stomme kutdingen?
Ja, dat doe ik!
Ik kan ze niet zien.
Oh, kort uitgetoond.
Wat is?
Is there still a way to send a picture or not? Because I didn't get an email.
Je kan altijd proberen.
Want ik heb het net wel naar zijn Facebook gestuurd. Ik hoop dat hij het...
Normaal krijg je ook echt een mail waar ze dat zeggen van you're in.
Ah, ik heb dat niet gekregen.
Hij had die mail gisteravond om 3 uur 's nachts gestuurd. Ik had gelijk gereageerd daarna.
Ik heb alleen de mail van Fuse.
Kijk in je ongewenste e-mail.
Ik heb niet gehad, maar ik heb nu gewoon een foto gestuurd.
Weet iemand hoe laat
Hij kan natuurlijk ook bij reclame zetten, hè? Hij kan
Ja.
ook gewoon bij reclame zetten.
Wat is Paul nou aan het doen?
Volgens mij is hij een foto aan het uitzoeken.
Ja, hij heeft pauze genomen en hij gaat die foto's uitzoeken.
Maar jongens, jullie moeten jullie camera uitzetten.
Ik weet niet of jullie eruit gekeken willen worden, maar zet je camera
Jongens, jullie
uit.
moeten jullie camera uitzetten. Anders kan Paul niet terugkomen.
Meneer, u was er net ook al. U weet dat die camera uit...
Je camera moet uit.
Pedofiel los.
Oude meneer, je camera moet uit.
Hallo, opa, doe je camera uit. Hoe oud ben je wel niet?
Wil hij ook een model worden?
Wil hij ook een model worden?
Meneer, zet je camera uit.
Oh.
Hey.
Gaat jullie microfoon ook steeds uit?
Ja. Omdat ik heel tijd mijn camera, mijn ding doet.
Deed iemand 10 dingen goed? Oh.
Worden jullie er ook steeds uitgekikt?
Ja, de hele tijd.
En mijn microfoontje ook.
Ja, ik word ook de hele tijd eruit. Ik word er ook uitgekikt.
Ik heb die mail van fotostuur ook niet gekregen. Ik heb die mail van fotosturen niet gekregen.
Maar daar kan je niks.
Maar ik ook niet. Ik heb geen e-mail gekregen. Heb je geen e-mail van me?
Ik heb een foto sturen, hè?
Nee.
Ik bedoel,
ik heb net gewoon een foto gestuurd via e-mail.
je kunt altijd gewoon een foto naar hem opsturen.
Meisje, doe je camera.
Hallo, zijn jullie allemaal achterlijk of zo? Wat verstaan jullie niet aan? Doe je camera?
Ja, sorry.
Gaat jullie microfoon ook de hele tijd uit?
Ja.
bij mij ook.
Ja, ik heb net geprobeerd een e-mail te sturen met mijn foto. Want ik heb
meisjes,
die
dat die e-mail niet hebben gehad, dan moet je bij spam kijken.
Wat is zijn e-mail dan?
Ik heb hem wel. Ik kan het wel even opnoemen.
Je kunt later toch ook altijd een e-mail...
Ja, volgens mij zijn nu de foto's aan het kijken, dus ik zal het wel snel doen.
Info. Ja, ik heb net die e-mail gestuurd, dus ik hoop wel dat
Ik ook. En ik kreeg een mail.
Ik heb ook een mail terug gehad.
Gewoon naar de e-mail die gewoon daar vast. Vertel even
Dus,
snel de e-mail dan.
Hij ziet het nu.
Hij gaat kijken, dus het maakt niet zoveel uit als je het later stuurt.
Het is niet erg als je het later hebt gestuurd.
Ja.
Denk ik.
Is het...
Dus volgens mij helemaal niet erg als je het later hebt gestuurd, want hij scout sowieso best wel vaak. Dus dat maakt toch helemaal niet zo...
Oh, dat is
Wat is
wel
zijn e-mail dan?
Doe je camera uit.
Hey, op Twitter wordt vaak gekeken naar foto.
Ja.
Doe je camera. Tanne, je camera moet uit.
Ik heb geen Twitter of zo, maar...
Camera.
Ik heb mij toen ook een berichtje gestuurd op Twitter. Hij doet het echt.
Sanne, doe je camera uit.
Horen jullie mij?
Sanne,
Ja.
doe je camera uit.
Ja.
Doe je camera uit.
Maar wat gaat
Wie
die man
was
nou
er
doen met die foto's dan?
Die was er ook nog vrijdag.
Beoordelen.
Sanne, camera uit.
Ik denk dat Paul nu komt.
Oké, jongens, stil.
Stil.
Aangezien de camera het weer doet.
Okay.
Hi Paul.
Hi Paul.
Hey guys.
Hallo.
Hi. For the opportunity.
We love you.
Hallo.
Okay, cool. So here we go. We're going to be asking some questions now, guys.
Paul, I didn't get the email, so I just sent an email with my picture.
Okay, perfect. Who are you?
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Me 3, me 4,
I'm
me
voting
5.
yes.
All right, I'll do your picture. We're going to get into that in just a minute.
Question.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, you guys. Okay, The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to be answering some of your questions. Then we're going to get into the review of some of your guys' pictures. Cool?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Are you with
okay.
me?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the first question that we just had was from who, Rio?
From me.
The pretty black girl? The 5'3" girl?
Yes.
Oh, Suda. Fuck, I know who you are. Suda. I know who you are. You're 5'3". You're a pretty black girl. Is this a kid from Somalia? Are you from Somalia? Okay, so here's the situation. In the past 50 years.
Oh my God.
Whoever this is, the guy with the glasses, you gotta go up, man. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Devorah? Sorry, buddy. You're gonna turn off your video, Pally. Turn off your video. I don't want to have to bounce you up. Kenny, turn it off, buddy. You can come on later, Kenny. Turn it off. Right now, Ken.
Doe je camera uit.
Warm up your video.
Sorry, I was kicked out when you were
Bounce
talking
your ass
about
off,
you.
Kenny.
Can you
So
repeat it?
here's the story. Pretty little black girl, 5'3", Suda.
Yes.
In the last 50 years, can
Yeah.
you name one girl that's become a famous model at 5'3"?
Kate Moss, right?
No, never
Yeah.
happened. In 50 years, not one girl 5'3" ever became a famous model. So what's the answer? Now, does that mean it's impossible for you to do it? No,
Of
nothing
course
is
not.
impossible. Nothing is impossible. Does it mean that the chances are highly unlikely at height 5'3" you can become a famous model? Very, very unlikely. Now, does that mean, can you act? Can you do TV commercials?
Yeah.
Can you do beauty jobs with that beautiful face of yours? Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Can you become a high fashion model and make millions of
No.
dollars? Probably
No.
not. Probably not.
I know.
Now, I can bullshit you and say we have this machine in Los Angeles that can make you 6 feet tall, but I'd be bullshitting you and you would never believe me ever again.
Doe je
Yeah,
camera
so
uit.
tall is
On the video.
5'3".
Doe je camera uit.
Hey, eyebrow girl. Nice eyebrows. Whoever. What's her name?
Isabella, doe je
Ambrose.
camera uit.
Turn off the video right now.
Doe je camera
Turn off the
uit.
video. That's it. Come on, eyebrow girl. And you got nice eyebrows, by the way. But turn off the video. Turn off the video now,
Uit.
or I'm not going to speak.
Well,
Good job.
How
Okay.
tall is 5'3"?
So at 5'3", it's
Go
going to
on.
be very, very difficult, but you should focus on acting, TV commercials, things like that. Rio, next question.
Paul, is 180 too tall?
When are you too tall?
Okay, so here's a question. Hey, you guys, I'm not going to answer questions if you talk. I'm going to only answer questions that are going through the chat. Here's the story. It says, what kind of characteristics do I look for mostly in a model? Now, check this out. This is a very important subject. Most people think that I know, or if Paul Fisher thinks a girl's really beautiful, she can become a famous model. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's my own ego. Let me tell you the trick. Let me tell you the trick that I do. What Paul Fisher thinks about a girl is freaking irrelevant. Irrelevant. It doesn't matter what I think. My job is to try to figure out what Calvin Klein thinks. My job is to try to figure out what Yves Saint Laurent thinks. My job is to try to figure out what Ralph Lauren thinks and what Mrs. Prada think and what Hede from Yves Saint Laurent and Jean-Pierre Giorgio who cast for Fendi and Armani. My job is to get inside the heads of straight people, black people, white people, Jewish people, Christian people. My job is to try to figure out what are the most important decision makers in the world. What do they think is beautiful? And by the way, what each person thinks is beautiful is a different animal. Different. So what a gay man thinks is beautiful, different. What a Jewish person, what a Catholic, what a black, they all think what turns them on and what excites them is very, 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 very different. So my job is, that's why I'm kind of a little bit crazy, is because I'm supposed to be different people every time I look at a girl. So I look at a girl and I go, okay, if I was a cross-dresser, would I think that person was beautiful? If I was a gay man, would I think that girl's beautiful? If I was a straight man, which I am, would I think that person's beautiful? So my job is to try to figure out what do other people think is beautiful. Very difficult thing. That's why sometimes when I see Julie Humans and then I make her famous, people think I'm a fucking genius. But if I don't make a girl famous, then they think I'm an idiot. I'm not a genius. I'm not an idiot. I'm neither one of those two things. All I am is a guy who works very, very hard studying Vogue, studying Calvin Klein, studying Prada, studying Gucci, and then I look for girls that I think Prada's going to like, and Gucci's going to like, and Valentino's going to like. Next question.
Paul, can I ask you something?
Is there two tall? Who's this person on video, Devorah? They're pissing me off. Robin. Robin, with the nice lips. Turn my shit off. Okay, so now, that's a great question. Somebody just asked a question. Is there, can you be too tall? 183, 184, 185 is too tall. You don't fit the clothes. If you're 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" as a woman, too tall. 6'4", 6'5" as a guy, too tall. Don't fit the clothes. It's a bitch. Now, if you are 6'1" as a woman, can you model? Yes. Are there exceptions to the rule? Yes. Is it a little bit more difficult? Yes. But usually if you're about 6 foot is about as tall as we want the girls to be. 6'1", 6'2" for a girl, it's getting a bit too tall. So yes, it's all about fitting the clothes, guys. You don't fit the clothes, you ain't gonna work for the designers. You don't work for the designers, you're not gonna work for the magazines. You don't work for the magazines, you ain't gonna become a star. That is the bottom line.
And when you're 182?
What is the best age to start? You know, I don't really like working with girls that are under the age of 15 years old. Now, do I represent a couple of 14 years old and maybe one 13-year-old? Yes, but we go very slowly. Very slowly. Why? Because the candle doesn't burn bright for a long period of time. So if we start a girl when she's 13, 14 years old, usually she's burnt out by the time she's 17, 18. Usually you can start making real good money 17, 18, 19, 20. So you know, I try to start girls 15, 16, 17. That's like the perfect age to start. 15, 16, 17.
Can you show them how to do the model eye look?
You're so funny. Somebody just said, can you show somebody how to do the model eye look? The answer is no. I would be very embarrassed. Next question.
Can you just walk or what's the best way to...
Okay, so they're asking the question, what's the best way to get started? Walk into an agency? No. No. Wake up. No. Step one. Here's how it works. Don't ever trust anybody in the modeling industry unless they can prove to you they've made somebody famous. Let me ask you a question. Let's say, God forbid, you got into a car accident, God forbid, and you wanted to get a lawyer to represent you. Would you let a lawyer represent you in a lawsuit that's never been a lawyer for somebody in a car accident? How the fuck would you trust that person? Why would you trust an agent that's never made anybody famous? You'd be like a guinea pig. So step one, only listen or hear the advice or hear the opinion of somebody who's represented stars. And if they've only made one person famous, they got lucky. They got lucky. Only trust an agency or an agent or a manager or a mother agency that's actually can show you they've made a couple of people famous. If they haven't made a couple of people famous, they're full of shit. That means you're a guinea pig. And your life is too precious. Your youth is too precious to be a guinea pig. So somebody can test out if you could become a model or not. There's a couple of modeling agencies in Holland that I won't mention. They suck. They're these little tiny modeling agencies. They've never made anybody famous. And they're playing with young girls' lives. And you can't ever get your youth back. So here's how it goes. You don't just want to walk into a modeling agency. What you want to do is you want to do digital pictures with no makeup on. You want to take those pictures and introduce those pictures via email to the top modeling agencies in the world. How do you find the top modeling agencies in the world? Go to models.com, look at who represents the top 30 models in the world, and then send your pictures to the top agencies in the world in every major market, and then freaking pray. Pray. Send the
But do
digital
they work with
pictures
people
to
from
every
Holland
top
too?
modeling agency in the world, and all of the agencies' email addresses are on models.com, and then freaking pray. And if the agency, if nobody gets back to you, don't model. Do something else with your life. That's how stupid simple it is. Step one, take my interactive online course, so at least you have the knowledge about the modeling industry. Don't enter this business like a stupid person that's like Stevie Wonder trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do. Step one, take the course. Step two, then learn everything there is to learn about the modeling industry. Step three, send your pictures to the most important modeling agencies in the world. Step four, pray. Pray, pray, pray.
Those
pray,
pictures, how do you
pray.
make those pictures?
Next question, Rio.
When are you coming back to Holland?
When am I coming back to Holland? I don't know. Whenever RTL decides I'm doing my season 3. I think I'm coming back to do season 3 in February. But you guys don't want to watch me on TV anymore, do you? You guys don't like me on television, I heard. I heard the Dutch don't like politicians. And who's this girl on this video girl with the black jacket on and Ambrose? Hey, Ambrose, turn my video off or I'll disconnect your shit right now. Turn the video off.
Amber, doe je video uit.
Sophie.
Amber, doe je video uit.
Turn your video on. Sophie, I'm talking to you. Turn your video off, Sophie. Yeah, smile. Now turn it off.
Jongens, doe
Smile.
je video uit.
Ja, alles loopt bij mij vast.
Good job. Sophie, good job, Sophie. And I got one more question, and then we're going to get into reviewing the pictures.
What age is too old?
How can you?
Somebody asked how they can meet me.
Yes, I asked.
Well, first of all, I don't meet that many people. My mother's very nervous. She keeps me keeps her all to herself. Never been married, so I don't know, man. I don't know how you can meet me. I don't know. You can't meet me. You can go onto an interactive course, and then we can Skype together. That's how you get to meet me. Anybody who takes my interactive course, they get to meet me via Skype. And by the way, check this out. I'm going to be picking 2 people that take my interactive course, and you will be on my show. I can make you a supermodel. I will be picking 1 scout from this course, and you'll actually win a walk-on role to my TV show. So you can meet me, take the course, go through the 4-week interactive course. You get to Skype with me. 2 kids, 2 students will actually win a walk-on role to my show. That's how you get to meet me.
And what day is it?
Oh, they're gonna send you some information about the online course in the next 24 hours. And guys, by the way, the online course is the funnest thing in the world. I talk about social media. I talk about modeling in Paris. I talk about how you really get started. I talk about what kind of pictures do you need? How do you get started as an actress? How do you get started as a commercial person? How do you become a scout? How do you become a manager? How do you learn everything about the modeling industry? Why do people model in Spain? Why do people model in how do you get to model in Asia, in China, in Brazil, in Thailand? If you don't take my interactive course, the chances of you meeting me, unless you're Sarah, slim to none.
I'm from Thailand. Slim
to none.
Zet je camera uit.
Sarah, you get to meet me. Hey, who's this person right here? This video person.
Chantal, doe je camera uit.
Chantal, disconnect me, Chantal. Chantal, take the video off. Chantal, take the video off. You, right there. Good job. Okay, one last question.
How do you get to the course?
How can you practice your
Oh,
eyes?
they're gonna send you guys information about the course.
Okay, great.
Oh, was it bad if you just...
What is the maximum age?
Oh, sorry. That's fast.
Is it
Well,
bad
what's the
if-
maximum age? Is there an age related to modeling?
Oh, they'll get into that. They'll get into that because you could take a class, you could take the course, you could just take like one class and one class just on how to get started, how to meet agents, what kind of pictures that you need, what should a mother agency be doing. Yeah, and we're only choosing 30 people to take the course. We've had like 200 people try to sign up, but we're only choosing 30 people. A, you have to have potential. B, you have to be cool. And C, you have to have a lot of desire to do this. So I can only pick 30 students to take the class because each course I do Skypes with each and every student, so I can only do 30 people in a course because we do one-on-one Skypes with each and every student. So if you want to Skype with me, if you're a parent and you want me to meet your kid, take the course.
Is there a needed weight?
How do you choose?
One more question. One more question.
Is there a needed weight?
Age or religion?
Oh, great question. Great question. Somebody just asked me, how do you combine school and modeling? You know, one of the most proudest things I've ever done in my life, you guys. Julie Humans, straight A student from Den Bosch, straight A student, and we work in between her school. You know, now that she's out of school, now she's becoming one of the most powerful models in the world. But we work around your school. You can model on the weekends. You can miss, in every school, you can always miss one day here and one day there. But I'm telling you, school is 10 times more important than modeling. 10 times more, 1,000 times more important than modeling. 1,000 times more important. And you can always do school and you can always do modeling around school. Absolutely.
Paul, I am 2010.
What is the needed weight?
Go ahead. Ask me the question through the chat. I'll answer a couple more questions. Go ahead.
What is the needed
How can you get into the course?
Is 22 too old?
Oh, the size and height of an Asian.
Paul,
So
can you get
whether you're Asian, Christian, Catholic, American, Dutch, doesn't matter, man. Sizes are all the same. 176 and 176 to 181 as far as the height go, and the hips got to be like 89, little Asian girl. That's the height. But remember, I'm only talking about a very high-end super niche of the modeling industry. You know, you could be 5'5", 5'6", 5'7". You can model in Tokyo. You can model in Thailand. You can model in China. There's, you know, you could be 5'6" and you could do TV commercials. You could be 5'2", 5'3". You could become an incredible social media model. Let me ask you guys a question. You know, if what is something that you're passionate about? Maybe you're passionate about yoga. You could do an online tutorial for yoga by building your online social media. But you could be passionate about being a makeup artist or a hairstylist. You could build a million followers online and become an online, do tutorials online and become a great online model online. And by the way, if you get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers, the biggest magazines in the world are going to want to know who you are. So there's a lot of ways into a house. Back door, front door, side door. There's a lot of ways to become a model, you guys. And my way is only one way. In the interactive course, I'm going to teach you guys all different kinds of ways to become great models. Hit me with another question.
Is 22 too
How
old?
can you get in the course?
Age limit.
Can a model have tattoos? Absolutely yes. 100% yes. Now, do I suggest tattoos for young people? No. But can a model have tattoos? 100% yes. Some of the most famous models in the world have tattoos. Absolutely. 100%.
What is the needed weight? I'm always wondering that.
What is the needed? Hey, you that's asking me the question, put it in the chat. It's easier for me to ask you in the chat because Rio can ask me the questions.
Is 22 too old?
There is some annoying sound.
But let me ask you guys another question. But while you guys are asking me a question, I can make you a supermodel or Holland's Next Top Model. I can make you a supermodel.
I can make you a supermodel.
Which show is better?
I can make you a supermodel.
Who has the cooler show?
Oh,
Hello, me.
I hear some echo.
That's from Charlene de Jong.
I want the freaking cook.
Sarah.
How do you select that screen?
I love the way you talk.
Paul, how do you select for the course?
All right, you guys. One more question, then we're going to review some of your pictures.
How do you
Paul, how
is
can
Genevieve
you
still in your team?
Can you speak Dutch?
22 too old?
How do you select people for the
Listen,
course?
you know, we're going to send you guys a questionnaire for the interactive course. And let me tell you something. You just have to tell me why you want to be a model after this phone call. If you tell me you want to be a model because you want to see pretty pictures up in a magazine, you ain't going to make the course. If you say, "Oh, I want to become a model so I can marry a rock star," you ain't going to make the course.
But when is the
Bottom line,
course?
if you
When is
want
the
to do this
course?
because you want to become a role model, you want to take care of your family, you want to give back to the world, you want to make other young people look up to you, you may just qualify for my course. Now we're going to look at some of your pictures. Hold on a second.
When is the course?
Hij stuurt je een mail. Jongens, hij stuurt jullie een mail. Praat niet allemaal, hij stuurt jullie een mail over de cursus.
Kunnen jullie mij horen?
Jongens, hij stuurt jullie een mail over de cursus, dus jullie moeten gewoon wachten.
Ja, dat zeg je 30.000ste keer.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna ask you if you guys are online, and you got to just tell me if you're online. Is there a girl named Krista online? Krista, Christa. Krista. Her last name is Regeling. Krista Regeling. You online?
Yeah, she's online.
Yep.
We
Okay.
are online.
All right. Hold on a second. She's the first one I'm going to look at.
Charlene, can you put off your echo?
Hi, Pap.
Okay, Krista, are you there with your mother?
No, it's my daughter. She calls Myra. Her name is Myra. My name, the mom, is Krista. You hear me?
Oh, that's your daughter with the blonde hair?
Yes.
Are you on the video? No. Rosa, get off the video, Rosa. Get off the video. Rosa, off the video. You, Rosa. I'm looking at you, Rosa. Get off the video. Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay, so your name, so it's Krista Regeling. Oh, and it's Myra?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Myra.
Yes.
How old is your daughter?
I'm in 2 days. I'm turning 15.
Into the chat. How old is the kid?
She is.
She's almost 15. On Tuesday.
She's how old on Tuesday?
15 years.
And how tall?
180.
She's great. Your daughter has potential to be a very big star.
Okay, thank you.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it gives me a great feeling. There are
Okay, but
many
did you hear the whole course and how difficult it's going to be for your daughter?
Yes, I know, and she understands it too.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a separate Skype call, and Rio's going to set up a Skype call for me, you, and your daughter, okay?
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, great.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty cool.
Pretty
I'm
cool. So let me talk to the next one. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Anybody is there a girl named Kato? K-A-T-O on it? Kato? No. Hold on a second.
Ja, maar er zijn 105 op mij.
Okay. Chloe, you just sent me your pictures, right? Chloe.
Yes, Chloe Rieners.
I'll tell you in a second. Chloe Renners.
Yes,
Renners,
that's
R-E-N-E-R-S.
Yes, that's me.
Chloe, I can't tell what you look like. What you need to do, here's how it works. You do pictures right like this, Chloe, just like this, so we can see what you look like. I cannot tell what you look like. So it's very simple pictures, Chloe, like that, okay? Simple, like a mugshot, like you were just arrested, like that, Chloe. Like you're going to jail, man, like a mugshot, okay?
Yes, do I need to send it to you?
Yeah, resend it.
Okay.
Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, she's cool. Okay. Hey, Joy. 14 years old. Joy, you there?
What is his name?
Joy, J-O-Y, Joy. Yeah, Joy DeWitt.
She
Joy DeWitt.
replied in the chat. She is there.
Okay, Joy DeWitt. You're very liked. You're very great. Hey, Joy, do you have freckles? Do you have freckles? Do you have little freckles?
She said yes.
So here's what I want you to do, Joy. First of all, Do you hate your freckles?
Yeah, she says she has a lot of freckles.
Yeah, and do you hate your freckles?
No.
I love your freckles. Joy,
She likes them.
I don't like your freckles, Joy. I don't like them. I love them. I love your freckles. So here's what I want you to do, Joy. I want you to, when the sun comes out, I want you to do some pictures. I want you to lay in the sun, and because when you lay in the sun, the freckles are going to come out even more. And then I want you to do the digital pictures when all your freckles are all over your face. And then I want you to send those digitals to me. When all the freckles come out, so sit in the sun, have all the freckles come out, and then do a picture, okay? Who's this girl right here? She's pretty, though, with the big old red lips.
Ray.
Ray, disconnect me. Go off video, Ray. By the way, Ray, too much makeup. Take that shit off your face. But take that shit off your face. You can't be on the video, Ray. You cannot be on the video. No video. No video. Take me off the video now.
She says she's sorry.
Okay, but Ray, here's the question. Here's the problem. Here's what's happening. I want to talk to you about Ray. So Ray just got on the line on a video. And Ray's very beautiful. Beautiful. You're very beautiful, Ray.
She sends a lot of.
So here's what happens. When people want to meet a guy like me, they always wear foundation and base and blush. I can't tell what you look like. No disrespect. When people meet me, they think they got to look good, they got to look pretty, they got to dress up. That's bullshit. What we as agents and managers, we want to see you wake up in the morning. We want to see what your pores look like, what your gums look like. We want to see. Here's the question: is it easier to paint on a white wall or a wall that's already been painted on?
On a white wall.
White wall. So when you go to a modeling agency, should you wear makeup? You know, people go to modeling agencies all the time and they wear freaking heels that big, like heels. They walk in, they got their face painted, they got big old heels on, and then we look at them and go, are you 5'9"? Are you 5'7"? Do you have big lips? Do you have small lips? What the hell do you look like?
Yeah.
No disrespect. We want to see what you look like when you don't even think you look good. So then we can imagine you in like 5 different ways. But if you come to us already made up with big old heels on, then we got to guess. We're looking at 100 girls, and now we got to figure out, is she 5'9"? How big are the heels? No. We just want to see, what does she look like? No foundation, no base, no blush. Exactly what the kid looks like. And then we can figure out if she's right for us or not. So Ray, who you just kind of did your video with me just now for a second, and you look beautiful. If we were going to go out on a freaking date, but we're not going to go on a freaking date, ever.
That's true.
We're trying to make you into a freaking model. And I don't know if you look, I don't know if you're a guy, I don't know if you're a girl, I don't know if you're a girl, who the fuck knows? Because you got all that makeup on, and you could be really, really, really beautiful. So when you meet people like me, or when you send people pictures like me, no foundation, no base, no blush, nothing. Okay?
Yes, I have sent you photos of me without makeup.
Perfect. That's exactly all I care about, Ray.
Yes.
That's the bomb. That's the bomb, baby. Because then I can look at it in 5 seconds and I can tell you if I think you have potential or not. If you send me pictures with makeup, then I'm freaking guessing. I'm guessing.
Yes, that's why I sent you photos without makeup.
Let me look at some other pictures. 1 second, guys.
Ik schrok me kapot. Ik had helemaal niet verwacht dat ik in de camera kwam.
Okay. Here's a guy named Jules Cox. Jules, are you on the line, Jules? Hey, buddy, Jules. Jules, you on the line? There's a guy named Jules.
I don't know.
Don't be bashful, bro. Come on. Come on, Jules.
No Jules inside.
Paul, do you look at photos we sent a week ago?
Fuck him then. And then we got Joel. Let's see Joel. No. Okay, Joel. Joel, did you just send me a picture, Joel? Joel. Joelle.
Yes, she's saying yes.
Okay, Joel. Joel. Come on. Look at me. You're not going to be a model. I love you. I love you. Let's go have coffee one day, but you ain't going to be a model. You're great. What about doing hair? What about doing makeup? What about a career as a casting person? What about a career as an editor? But you're not going to model. I'm just telling you. Don't get mad at me. Don't get pissed off at me. I'm the guy that tells the truth to everybody. It's not going to happen. But there's so many other careers in my industry that you could do because you got a big old smiley face. What about becoming an editor of a magazine? What about becoming a casting person? There's so many things that you could do. Who's this? Who's on my video? Who's this girl? Anne, get off. Anne, who's this girl?
Paul.
Anne, Anne, you got to get off, baby. Come on, Anne. I'm looking at the ceiling. Anne, take my video off. Take my video off, Anne. Did my Sarah get on?
Your what?
My girl Sarah, she's on?
No.
She didn't get on? Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's look at some other people. Hold on. Isabel. Isabel, are you on? Isabella. Isabella, are you on?
Can't get off.
Isabella. Isabella Appel.
She was there earlier.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Isabella. Isabella,
Yes.
you're on, right?
Yes.
Baby, let me ask you a question. Do you pluck your eyebrows or are they just really beautiful?
They're really beautiful. I don't plug them.
How old are you?
I am tomorrow I will be 14.
Tomorrow's your birthday?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Isabella. Happy birthday to you. So now you can tell all your friends that Paul Fisher's saying you happy birthday.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Hey, Isabella, how old are you? You're going to be 15 tomorrow?
14.
14. How tall are you, Isabella?
174.
How tall?
174.
174. Okay,
Yes.
so Isabella, send me some pictures, but send me normal pictures, not like this. Not like that.
I will.
Not your freaking model look, man.
Aw.
Send me normal pictures because I like your eyebrows. I think you have a great face. And it's your birthday, so maybe I'll give you a birthday present and we'll do a Skype with me, you, and your mom for your birthday. But you send me the right pictures without doing this.
I will.
Nothing like that. But you're cool looking. I love your brows, man. Happy birthday to you, Isabella.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Okay, hold on a second. Who's this?
Ele tem uma cadeira de madeira, ainda mais antiga do que esta.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. There's a couple. Who's John? Let's see, John. Oh, she's. Oh. Who's the little freckle face girl? Who's John? John. Who's this kid? Letitia. Letitia. John, is that your daughter, Letitia? John, did you just send me pictures of your daughter with the freckle face? Letitia, 14 years old. Greetings, Simone Muji.
Ja, sorry, hij gaat toch niet?
Is Letitia around? Okay. All right, you guys. So, here's my questions, you guys.
That sounded quite funny.
You guys have fun today?
Yes.
Did you guys
Yes.
learn a little bit about the modeling industry?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
very
here's
much.
the last thing I want to say to you guys. If you guys decide not to be models and you decide just to stay focused on school and become something else, I think it's really, really cool. Because I think the modeling industry sucks. Because I think the modeling industry is very, very hard on young people. But if you do decide to do this, and if you do decide to become a model, win the game. Become the best one you can become. I suggest you not to do it. I suggest all of you not to become models. I suggest that it's a very difficult business, and whenever you put your time and energy into something that's too physical, that's what we call 1%, that's just about your physicality, it's very hard to win the game. Sooner or later, you're going to look in the mirror and see things that nobody else sees. Sooner or later, you're going to look in the mirror and not realize how truly beautiful you really, really are. So I suggest for all of you, don't do this. Don't model. But if you are going to do it, then be the best that you can become. Learn everything there is to know about this business. Learn everything before you step into this business. Everything. Or don't do it. And if you are going to do it for the right reasons. Do it because you want to become a role model. Do it because you want to give back to the world. Do it because you want other young people to look up to you and you want to become a role model. That's why you want to do it. I send you guys lots of love. I'll be doing another class soon. I hope to see you all in my interactive online course. I hope and I pray that I've touched your hearts and that my words resonated with your soul.
What is
My
your
iPhone
email?
just glitched, so I couldn't hear the things.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Paul, I'm
Thank
back.
you.
Thank you so
Everyone,
much.
thank you so much for joining us today. Please keep a lookout in your inbox. Within the next 24 hours, you'll be receiving an email that will go over all of the details of Paul's upcoming interactive course. Again, we're only choosing 30 people, and we've had over 300 people sign up for this free intro. So that's 30 people out of 300 that we're choosing. So you'll need to take the time to fill out this form in depth, answer all of the questions. We'll have the cost of the course within there. You can take the full course. You can take one class out of the course. It's a 4-part course. And for a limited amount of time, we're offering a discounted rate for this course. So the sooner you register, the quicker you'll be able to join this course. And again, there's only 30 people who we're choosing between now and then. This course will start in January. So whether you're a parent who has a child who wants to join this course, this is a great time of year to gift this to somebody who means a lot to you. It's a great Christmas gift. It's a great gift for yourself. If you're looking to become a scout, an agent, or a model yourself, or let's say you already are a model and you're wanting to further your modeling career, this is for all of you. So if you're in that field, you cannot afford to miss this course. We look forward to hearing from you. Again, look forward to this email. It will be in your inbox soon, along with the recording of this class. And we will see you there. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Ik denk niet dat ze het horen. Snapt iemand